Oh, I see.
Y en eso pagó tu papá y dice, vámonos a la casa ya.
Hice también huevitos cocidos, ¿ok? Ahorita que estén listos, te llevo. Hey, what do you say?
Good morning, everybody. Just making sure that I got everybody muted here. Okay.
Good morning, Benny.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. Want to start out the meeting. You know, for probably most of you never met Juan Garcia. He was an agent with our company probably for the last 7 or 8 years. Worked with me at Coldwell Banker 5 years before that. And then we came to Berkshire Hathaway at Bellflower. And then he joined our Cypress branch probably, I'll say maybe a year ago. Anyways, Juan Antonio lost his battle to colon cancer on Sunday. And so just wanted to have a quick moment of silence for him. So if you'll all join me. So it's been a tough year, everybody, but we got to stay positive and keep on going. I thought of this John F. Kennedy quote. He said, "Our problems are man-made, therefore they may be solved by man, and no problem of human destiny is beyond human beings." And with that, I say, I hope that someday we will find a cure for cancer. But for now, I guess we've got to just keep on going, guys, and staying positive. But let's move on to buyer and seller wants and needs. Does anybody have anything that you want to share with us? Any new listings? If you don't share with us, I will go to the MLS and share with you guys whatever we have. But if you have something, please unmute yourself. Or if you have a buyer that's looking for something, please go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Okay, Benny, I need, I'm looking for a property in the La Habra, Brea, that area, around 700,000. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath minimum. If anybody has anything, I'd like to hear about it. Also, I have a client that's looking in the Apple Valley area. It could be land and maybe put a mobile home on it, or it could be mobile home on the land, but they want mobile home for some reason. If it's out in the Apple Valley area, as large as I can get, they'd like an acre of land and 5 bedrooms.
Got it. Anybody else? Any new listings? Any buyer wants? All right, I'm gonna go to the MLS, guys, and try to be quick compared to last week as we had so many, but good. We only have 4 right now from, 5 from the looks of it. So let me go to this one first. Marasheen Way, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, actually first day on the market. Wow, that's great. Asking 658. And this is a townhouse. Let me see if we have a virtual tour. This is by Tamara Michike. All right, awesome. So she's got a video here. Okay, Matterport. All right, let's play that real quick. You guys, this morning, John Greer and myself were on a manager's meeting, and John Fitzpatrick, he's the guy that does these Matterports. They give us special pricing. I don't have all those details, but one of the things that I wanted to mention is anotherhomesold.net. And maybe once we finish these, I'll put that website up on the chat box maybe. anotherhomesold.net. And his biggest point about that website is the fact that you can go in there. If you've never had one of these Matterports done for you, it's fine. When you go on your next listing, you can click anotherhomesold.net and show your client this Matterport, and you know, they'll be able to see this, and you know, you can show them that you're kind of cutting edge. I think it's going to go to the second floor real quick here. Wow, this is a pretty large townhouse, guys. This is Tamara Michike. Make sure to reach out to her. Fireplace in the bedroom, huh? All right. All right, guys, so that's Tamara Michike's new listing. Please make sure to reach out to her if you have a buyer. Like I said, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet, townhouse in Cypress. So keep that in mind, asking $658, not bad. All right, next one is Tiger Lane in Placentia. I think we went over this one last week. That's Wallace Ho. If you have a buyer for that, please keep it in mind. It's still on the market, 12 days. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,200 square feet, asking for $700. On to the next one. This is a new one. First day on the market, Eduardo Morales. All right, let's see what he's got here to show us. And this is another Matterport. Okay, this one doesn't have the play feature, guys, so I'll just really quickly go through it. But as you can see, open concept living room and kitchen. And where do we go from here? I don't know where the bedrooms are. Do you go through this door? No, it goes to the backyard. Sorry, guys, I don't want to make you dizzy. Okay, there we go. There it is. I couldn't see it from there. So this is the thing with Matterport, guys. If you do it with John Fitzpatrick, it's going to have the automatic play feature, right? So you don't have to be clicking it like I am right now. So just something to keep in mind. But here, we're just taking a quick look at his listing here. And let's go in the bathroom. So it's got some upgrades. I think people will like the open concept. So let's see, can we go to the backyard? I don't think so. Yeah, they don't do Matterport in the backyard, so you'll only be able to see maybe that what you're seeing now. All right, on to the, so 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 844. If you've got somebody in Linwood, he's asking $499. Wow, that's incredible, guys. $500,000 for a 2-bedroom. All right, let's go. Irvine, this is Mo Abraham. It's still on the market. We talked about it last week. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. If you've got anybody for that, please go ahead. And then our last one, let's see what that is. Genoa Drive. Okay, this is Jolie Piccolini. We shared it again last week. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,200 square feet, asking $650. So if any of you have a buyer, please reach out to these people. All right. And I have one coming up. Should be listed tomorrow. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's two master bedrooms, townhouse in San Dimas, and we're going to be asking $459.9 for that. So in case you have a buyer, San Dimas. All right. Thursday trainings, guys. Last week we had comps, so we ran a couple different properties and comped them out. Just something that you would do prior to your listing presentation so that you could price out a property. This Thursday, I'm going to share with you guys my digital listing presentation. But believe it or not, I spent hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds of dollars on various different types of listing presentations, and finally got it down to what I have now. There are things I probably want to add still to it because of how, video has changed and everything else. But yeah, if you'd like to see my listing presentation, it's pretty quick, short, sweet, and to the point. It's digital. You can bring it on a tablet. If you'd like, I'll share it with you. You guys will just have to edit it. But please, Thursday, 11 a.m., I'll send an email out for that. Now the numbers. So a little bit, I think we've got a lot of pendings, 16 pendings right now. So congratulations to everybody. Marjorie, Anna Espinoza, Feng and Nancy, Rosie Malgoza, Cecilia Guthrie, Angie Sandoval, Tony Ayub, Jolie, Sharon Sears, the Morales team, and then Renee says he's got one, but I'm gonna make it a rule that if you don't have it in SkySlope, it don't exist. So anyways, congratulations to all you that have these escrows. Keep up the good work. As far as closings, we've had 10 for the month. So congratulations to the Morales team, Rosa Montoya, Jean Browning, Ludi Carroll, Angie Sandoval, Bernadette, Don Roberts, and Carrie, Angie Sandoval, and Nancy, Feng and Nancy. Congrats to you guys. Keep up the great work. Do I have my friend John Greer on the call?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I wanted to just say happy fall, y'all.
There you go.
It was I'm hearing it started at 6:31 or 6:21 this morning, fall. And what a crazy number, oddball number to initiate in the new season. But with that, really, you want to, what makes me think is the end of the year coming up, and we're going into the fourth quarter of the year, and for you guys to be thinking about your goals and where you're at with your goals, above and beyond or below what your expectations were. And then the other is getting ready for the new year, and things that you start doing now are going to be paying off next year. So those were the things, along with the time changing. That's going to, I thought we voted in that wasn't going to happen anymore, and they keep doing it. So I don't know if that's going to happen this season. But anyway, just to think about it, and I'll send out an invite to you guys. Anybody that when I got started in the business, I really fought that, and like we're doing right now, I would hear anywhere I went, any kind of meetings and seminars, you need to set goals for yourself. And I would, not me, I don't, it doesn't apply to me. But once, after about 5 years of fighting that, I thought I need to change. I want to do something to increase my business, and I took goals serious. And oh man, did that make a change? It really works. And so if anybody needs some help with that, or wants to understand it a little better, check in with me. And that's what I got, Benny.
Cool. All right. Thanks for sharing that, John. Guys, John's right. It's now the time where your first quarter 2021 is going to be determined by what you're doing now, what you're setting up now. It's so funny, guys. I always tell people that the biggest thing that I took away from, or that I've been enriched with from this business, is the motivational side, like the self-development side. And I know that's not for everybody. And trust me, my 20-year-old self would laugh at me today, getting all pumped up over Tony Robbins, or, listening to Mike Ferry and practicing your scripts, and then, listening to Jim Rohn and developing a strong mindset and a great outlook. And it's so funny, my buddy that passed, and he was a fellow agent, Juan, it's crazy. He used to tell me that, whatever he ever put in writing, it always came true. And Juan, man, he had a strong personal development. He would go to, he went to Sci, he went to the Landmark Forum, he did the Quantum Leap. This guy did a lot of things. You guys, probably none of you met him because he wouldn't come into the office, but he walked with a limp, and I never asked him why that was. And it's funny, at Coldwell Banker, one of my coworkers one day asked him, you know, hey, what's wrong with your leg? There's nothing wrong with my leg. What's wrong with your leg? And so it's funny, but I found out from his family over the last few days that what it was is in the small town where he was born in Mexico, the polio came, and that's how he got, you know, his limp from his leg was from the polio. But you know, the biggest thing that I'll tell you is what John's saying is, you know, goals, you write them down, you know, and they're gonna come true. And you know, so you've got to have a very strong mindset. You know, I love, if none of you have met Bernadette Chua, she's a newer agent with our office here. And man, when I talk to her on the phone, she's like, I'm going to open escrow. I'm going to do it. By Friday, I'm opening escrow. And I'm just like, man, you know, it's for like a millisecond, it's funny, but then it's like, that's the way it has to be, you know? So, you know, write down your goals, you know, set up what you want to do. Hey, next year, I want to do 5 more deals than I closed last year. I don't know. I want to do 20 deals. I want to do 40 deals, whatever it is that you want to do. You know, and it doesn't just have to be transactions. So I'm going to take my family finally on a trip. I'm going to do this. You know, the biggest thing that I think about COVID right now, guys, is it made us realize all the things we took for granted, right? And so I said it myself. I'm like, as soon as this thing clears up, man, I'm going to Europe. I'm going to take a trip. I've never been to Europe. I'm going to do that. That's on my, you know, so I'm writing that down. That's one of those goals. But, you know, think of what things you took for granted that you're really thinking, hey, man, you know what? I'm going to be able to do that. Well, one last thing, guys, and I don't want to make it all about my buddy Juan, but it's funny. Some of you have met my other friend, Bernard Moran, and he called me the other night, and he goes, you know what's crazy, man? He goes, my buddy told me this. He goes, I'm 52 years old, and I've met a lot of people in my life. He goes, and you know what's crazy? He goes, Juan struggled to walk. And guys, I kid you not, I don't say this to make poke any fun at him or anything, but sometimes I'd be walking with Juan, and then I'd look around, and he's not there. He'd be on the floor. He would fall. And this is like in the last year, he would just slip and fall sometimes because of his you know, polio, you know, injury or whatever. And Bernard said to me, he goes, you know what's crazy, man? Is that guy was such a go-getter. You know, even though he'd struggle to walk, he'd be out there doing open houses. On the side, you know, one time I had a client that needed cabinets prior to selling their home. And I go, hey, man, do you know anybody? He goes, yeah, I'll do it. So think about that, guys. This guy had you know, a disability. He was disabled. He struggled to walk. And then he got diagnosed with cancer in July of last year. And I told him the other day jokingly, I go, who are you, man? Are you Bruce Mulhern? Because he's at Kaiser in bed, and he's still closing deals. He's still trying, hey, man, I got you a buyer. Can you call them? Hey, dude, you know what? I got a client. He's going to refinance, you know? And I'm going, man, you know? He worked up until probably 2 weeks before he died, you know? And Bruce Mulhern did the same thing. But I'm just saying, guys, if you don't have a disability, right? What's stopping you from going out there and conquering the world? Just a thought, guys. So anyways, let's move on to my money man. Or John, did you want to say something?
Yeah, Benny, one thing I forgot to mention, we have the managers meeting, you know, earlier today, and they were talking about this Thursday, Benny, and I hope you can help me with it, because it was it's kind of hard to explain, but it was based on the DISC program about personalities and the different types that are out there. So that's at 1:30, and I'm hoping that everybody gets that email blast because that's an ongoing class that they do every Thursday. But it seemed pretty interesting to me on how it increased this gal's sales. She's got a book out there on it. Am I leaving anything out, Benny?
No, yeah. I think like one thing that stuck with me is she was talking about how, go out there and get a lot of no's, like the more no's you get, and she's like, no, that's not right, but yeah, guys, you'll get an email from corporate. If you're not on that email list, please message me so I could have Susie Peralta add you guys. But you'll get that email. But every Thursday, corporate's putting on a training, and like John said, it's at 1:30 on Thursday, and it's via Zoom. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to come into the office. You can do it, from the comfort of your home. But yeah, this is a training. And she was talking about using artificial intelligence to build up her pipe. John, did you hear that part too? So she's using, whatever computer systems. And I'm guessing I've seen it before where they have these drip campaigns that like text and they'll say, hey, Joe, this is John Greer. Hey man, are you still looking for a home? But you never sent that. It's just the AI that's already doing it. It's already set up that way. So something pretty interesting, guys. If you get a chance, thanks for mentioning that, John, because I totally forgot to say that. But yeah, guys, if you get a chance this Thursday, 1:30, and if you're not on that email list, please message me and I'll get you on it. All right, Joe, are you there?
How you doing, Betty?
Good. How's it going?
Excellent. So we'll get started with an update on rates. So rates across the board are about an 1/8% higher than they were a week ago. So for an FHA loan, you're looking at about 2.875. Same on VA, about 2.875. Conventional 3.0 on a conforming loan amount, and about 3.125 on a high balance loan amount. So about an 1/8% across the board higher than it was a week ago. One thing I wanted to remind you guys about is we're doing FHA loans down to a FICO score as low as 580. Recently, I've been receiving some referrals from friends in the business who aren't able to do these deals at the company they work at. A lot of mortgage companies increased their FICO score requirement for government loans, loans in general, once the COVID started, and many of them have not reduced their FICO score requirements since raising them. So we're very aggressive on that, going down to 580. So if you have any clients that think they may not qualify for a mortgage, maybe they've been turned down by another mortgage lender, definitely let me know. I'd be glad to see if we can qualify them. One thing I wanted to share with you is I recently signed up for a service called MLS Highway, and it's a service designed for mortgage professionals. Kind of gives us insight onto what's happening in the interest rate market, what are driving some of the changes, but it has some very useful features that I'm excited to use with both you guys as well as your clients. One thing that I'm most excited about is this loan comparison. So it's kind of like a Zoom type meeting, one-on-one with the client. You're sharing your screen and you can show them different loan options and comparing them. So like if they're buying a home, you can show them options versus putting 5 or 10% down and how it impacts the amount of interest paid over the life of the loan. Or if someone's debating between using monthly mortgage insurance or a single payment mortgage insurance, you can compare all these different types of loans, show them different graphs. Very useful and helpful for them to make their decision on how they want to structure their purchase. You can do the same thing on refinances. You can compare buying down the rate versus not buying down the rate, when the break-even point is, and how much money you're going to save over the life of the loan. So very useful for our clients. Some of the other things that it has that I think would be useful for you as a realtor are like buy versus rent calculators, community reports, affordability calculators, appreciation. So it just has a ton of great data. I look forward to kind of diving into it a little bit deeper with you guys, maybe showing you some examples, maybe helping you guys out on some of your listing presentations or buyer presentations. So I just signed up yesterday, so starting to take some of their webinars and trainings and whatnot, getting more familiar with this service, but I think it'll definitely be useful for both myself as well as you guys. So that's what I got for you today.
Awesome. Hey, Joe, and we wanted to actually maybe next Thursday for our training, not this one coming up, but the following one. Some of the agents wanted to bring you in and just pick your brain a little bit on different loan scenarios and things like that. So if I would be okay with you to put that in your calendar.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. And then I had a question for you because earlier this week, somebody asked me about co-signers, and I could have swore I heard this in the past, where if somebody co-signs and the other person writes a check for 12 months, that they're able to remove themselves from the loan. Does that sound any?
So they're not able to remove themselves from the loan, but like, let's say the person who's making the mortgage payment, if they can document that the last 12 payments have come out of their bank account alone, and the co-signer or co-borrower who's on the loan hasn't made any of the last 12 payments, and that debt is excluded when they go to apply for a mortgage for their own purchase. So it doesn't impact their debt to income ratio, but you do have to wait that 12 months. Okay. So it's kind of important. One thing too is like if that person refinances, that 12-month clock restarts. It's based on the current loan that they have. So even if they made 6 months payments on their previous loan, 6 months on their new refinanced loan, then they wouldn't meet that requirement. They have to make 12 payments on their current loan. But yeah, you'd be able to exclude that debt.
Got it. So it won't remove, just to clear it up, guys, for you on the call. So it won't remove that person from the loan, but it'll exclude that debt for them if they go and try to qualify for something else somewhere else, right?
Exactly.
So awesome, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because one of our agents called me and said, hey, the co-signer's a little worried that they might not be able to do anything in a year or two if they choose to, because they're on this loan. So I said, well, I remember something like this, let's ask a lender, and hey, we've got you on the call. So awesome. All right, Joe, thank you very much. Do we have the right team?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Christy's currently on another call right now.
There you go.
So good morning, everyone. So I just wanted to call and say hello. And I also want to mention that we have the farming tool on our website. I've recently gotten a lot of questions about farms and like niche farms. And one of the tools that's available through the farms on our website is we have Farm Focus. So first you create like a regular farm. You just kind of block out an area and say, hey, this is where I'm interested in, doing mailers. I'm interested in, reaching out to this area. And then if you want to have niche farms within that, so for example, if you want to have all the absentee owners or all the owner occupieds, because you're going to have different material that you send out to each one of them. For example, you might want to have a rent versus buy comparison, marketing piece that you send out to absentee owner, the residences, where there's a renter living there. And maybe for owner occupied, you might want to tell them about, how low the rates are right now and how they can get a refinance. So Farm Focus is just a great tool that we have, and it's free for all of you agents. It's on our website. If you have any questions about it, I'm going to include both mine and Christy's phone numbers and our email in the chat. And actually, is Christy on the call right now? I see she's just gotten on. Is there anything you want to add, Christy?
Well, yeah, I wanted to share our most recent headache. So we talk about positive things all the time, but sometimes things that go wrong or go awry, they're important for us to share them with you so that you don't find yourself in the same situation. So Keegan and I have a deal that's canceling, and we don't like when that happens, and it was preventable. The buyer is a LAPD. He makes really good money. He is, however, going through a divorce, and he's buying a property. And I'm sure all of you know this, that California is a community property state, which means you cannot buy property without your spouse's consent or their participation. So the soon-to-be ex-wife, she's very angry with this young man. I'm thinking he has a new girlfriend. So she's refusing to cooperate and do anything to help him. So they're really pushing, the buyer's agent is really pushing us to close. And so I pulled out my magic wand saying, could we get a copy of the settlement agreement to see that they've already decided who gets what. It turns out these young people that never even owned a home, so that they don't even have a property settlement agreement because they have no assets other than just their jobs. They don't own, their own individual cars and whatnot. But so I can't rely on anything in writing through the divorce because their divorce is kind of like just cut and dry. But the thing is with the one thing I came up with was showing the interest that his soon-to-be ex-wife may have in the property. If she were to come back right after we closed, we would show an exemption in the policy that says you have no coverage, no protection, should she come forward and take you to court to get 50% of the property. The underwriters then decided, well, if we're going to show that on the buyer's policy so he knows he doesn't have protection, meaning we're not going to go to court and protect him against his soon-to-be ex-wife. Our underwriter said, well, we also have to disclose that to the lender because the lender also will be put in harm's way without getting the consent of the wife. So of course, as soon as the lender found all this out, boom, deal canceled. So just be mindful, you guys. There's a lot of really aggressive buyers out there that are just, they'll do anything to get into a property. Just really make sure you look at those offers and don't be afraid to ask questions. That way you're not finding yourself in this predicament. My listing agent is not happy, but it is what it is. So I hope that's a little, that helps you guys maybe down
Christy,
the road.
John Greer.
Yeah, John.
Good morning.
Hi.
To change subjects from that, we had a question. You weren't on the call a month and a half ago with a client. This is on regards to property tax. The house is free and clear, so all she had to pay was property tax. Her husband passed away. There was a problem, but she it was getting close to 5 years, and she was getting a lot of calls from agents and bankruptcy attorneys and what have you. And she scratched up about $3,000 and sent it into them. Shows I called customer service. It does show that she paid like $3,300, but she didn't pay the whole thing. So does that 5 years still? Do they re-rack it? Because I know with foreclosures, you have to pay the whole thing, or they're going to proceed with foreclosure. Do you know the answer to that?
You just said the answer right there. It's no different with tax sales. It's all or nothing. She just threw that money away. What's the total that she owes?
The balance is about $7,000.
Yeah. You can't throw money at it. It's all or nothing. So I hate to say it, but she just threw that money away. And the foreclosures, is it LA County or Orange County? LA County. So yeah. Their October auctions have been postponed, you guys. They are set to be commenced in February via online. It's not going to be a live auction. October was supposed to be, so they just postponed that to February, and it's going to be an online auction. So she's got from now to February to find that money.
Pay it up or sell.
Pay it up or sell. Absolutely.
Thank you.
The way you think. You're welcome. Okay, any other questions, guys? Well, just know that the RIDE team is here to help you in any way that we can. We want to help you get listings. We want to be your partners and help you be a successful agent. And then in turn, it means business for us. So we help you, you help us. It's the buddy system. So that's it. I'm done.
Sweet. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have 70 Pagan on? I don't think I saw her on here. So, all right. So guys, the last portion of the meeting, just want to talk to you about protecting yourself requires more than wearing a mask. And I'm not talking about COVID here. I'm talking about protecting yourself from getting into trouble. You know what? I like to knock on wood. In my 14 years of being in business, I only had one issue in a transaction, and I knocked on wood there. But only once did I have an issue in a transaction where, you know, it got kind of legal and money had to be exchanged in order for people to, you know, walk away and be happy. But, you know, in every transaction, you're going to have negotiating issues and things like that. You know, that stuff's normal. That's why you get paid the big bucks. but this is more about, you know, bigger things than that. So number one, I really, really encourage you to know your forms. You really need to know, you know, your contract, read it. If you guys remember last week, the disclosure question that I had for you guys, everybody had like 10 days, 3 days, 2 days. Nobody had the exact 5 days. So that tells me that a lot of you didn't have you know, the knowledge of that contract, which is your basic RPA. If anything, get to know your RPA and your RLA, because those are the two most used contracts or forms that you use on a daily. But I really encourage you to find out about the other ones that are in there. There's even a section in your car forms where you can go and click a different set of documents, and it's called car letters. And those are letters that you could use to talk to somebody that's keeping a deposit. There's different types of letters in there that are written by our car legal attorneys. So, okay, guys. Number two, when in doubt, ask questions. If there's ever something where you're like, oh man, I don't know, I don't feel right about this, call and ask. Call me and ask. Call John and ask. You could call Christy Rye. She's got answers. You could call Joe Coy. Maybe he's got the answer for it. But, you know, ask somebody. You don't just, you know, keep it to yourself, because, you know, if you're already asking yourself, wow, you know, I don't know, you know, what's going on here, then that might be a signal that, hey, you do need to reach out and find out. The other person, and that's why, guys, you know, it's funny, the other day, an agent said to me, oh, I didn't know that. And I said, well, you know, neither do I. I don't know everything. Trust me, just because, you know, I'm here in management doesn't mean that I know it all. I rely heavily on delegating and finding out from other people. You know, and I guarantee you that Bruce Mulhern or Dennis or John Greer, they're the same way. I mean, John is very knowledgeable because he's been around for a long time, but there's things that he doesn't know, and he relies on, you know, who he has around him to get those answers. So make sure to always ask questions when you're in doubt. Number three, this one you hear all the time from attorneys or any kind of trainers when it comes to contracts. It's just disclose, 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 you know. Anything that you hear. I had a buddy once, he was at the home inspection, and this lady walks up and goes, do you guys know that somebody died in that house? We're like, what? What are you talking about? It's a flip. What? That was my mom's house, and she died in there last year. Did you know that? It's like, oh my gosh. So now my buddy, now he got that knowledge, right? He heard that. So now he had to disclose that. You know, so you know, certain things. We have a question. Go ahead.
Somebody said that on one of my listings. You need to verify.
Well, you need to verify
with the police department.
Got it. Did you hear that, guys? Margie Tyson said that you need to verify that with the police department.
Because it may be somebody trying
because it might be also somebody, you know, that might be upset and just don't want you to get the deal. So
or just hearsay.
Or just hearsay. So, you know, that's just one extreme example of it. But yeah, anything that I'll tell you, this new listing that I have in San Dimas, I'm sitting there at the listing table and Metrolink. And she goes, the seller goes, that's probably the main, no, she goes, that's probably the main reason why I'm leaving. She goes, I'm done with that train. And so anyways, so that's something that you probably want to disclose or make sure that the seller discloses that. Moving on. Okay, do your job. What I meant by this, guys, is do your job. Don't do the lender's job. Don't do escrow's job. Don't do title's job. Do your job. Don't get that involved that you're doing other person's jobs. I was reviewing a file in SkySlope this week, and somebody put their in their Avid, moved desk and noticed stains on wall. Why did you move a desk? You know, it's so funny. Home inspectors, when they look under the sink, if there's too much clutter, they will write there, unable to inspect. They do not move stuff around to inspect, and they're inspectors. Isn't that crazy? Or what about this one? I had Elite property inspection on my listing on Friday, right? And Elite is like the most thorough home inspection. Whenever I see Elite as an inspection coming on my listing, I tremble. I get scared because they are like way overboard thorough. And guess what? The guy goes, recommend a roofer consultation. Well, aren't you an inspector? Can't you call it yourself? Well, guess what? They're limiting the scope of their job to just that inspection. Now, if it's something more dialed in, they're referring it out to another specialist. So just keep that in mind, guys. Don't go too far on the scope of your work. Don't start looking for legal advice or start, telling your clients tax advice. Don't do any of that. Just stick to doing your job, and that's going to keep you safe. Today in the management meeting, they were talking about how complex landlord-tenant law is becoming, and they're like, do not have your agents serve notices on behalf of their clients. Do not have them give tenant advice. Do not do property management. Don't do any of that stuff because it's going to get you in trouble. Number 5, remember that you are only the messenger. So don't get emotional about anything. Whatever the other person wants, deliver that message to your client, right? If the buyers want $2,000 for a repair, send it over to your seller and let your seller answer that. Jeff Kahn, who used to be with our company many years ago, he was a real estate attorney. And one of the biggest things that he would say is, you are not the seller or the buyer, so don't answer for them. Don't ever answer for them. If somebody goes, hey, do you think your seller would take a lower offer? I don't know. Send it over. Hey, do you think your seller would agree to repair this? I don't know. Send it over. Because you are only the messenger, guys. Don't forget that. Sometimes I've had agents go, oh, my client's not gonna go for that. No, forget it. Don't even bother. It's like, what? You're not the owner of the property. So don't forget that. You are only the messenger. Number 6, always recommend at least 2 vendors. Murray Wolf, the late Murray Wolf, which was almost like our risk management, gray area attorney. I called him once. I go, hey man, I called this inspector. I was in the routine of only calling this inspector. My client would say, hey, yeah, we're in escrow. And I would say, yeah, here's the inspector. He'll show up. And I would just always call this guy. And that was it. He was cheap and he was pretty thorough and he was good at delivering the message. And I would always just call that guy. And finally, one client goes, hey, Benny, who hired the inspector? Did I hire him or did you hire him? I go, well, I called him and I, set the appointment. Oh, so you hired him. And so I called Murray Wolf. I go, Murray, I think I'm going to get sued here because this guy missed this electrical panel that's shorting out and it's almost going to set the house on fire. And I hired the inspector. And he goes, you got to make sure that they hire the inspector and that they always pick 2. So keep that in mind. I don't want to get too overboard on this one, guys. But I have heard people say before that they even give their seller, oh, here's 2 termite companies, pick one, Some of us, we just like, I only call one on behalf of the client, but be careful with that. I remember when I was at Cole Banker, one time the agent ordered the inspection and I think, I don't remember what happened with the work, something where the agent became liable for the payment of the work because they signed off on it or they ordered it. One of the 2 things. I can't remember the details, but just keep that in mind. Recommend 2 vendors and let your client pick. 7, this is, a no-brainer. Just goes back to disclosure, but put everything in writing. Everything. I was telling Marjorie Tyson yesterday where I had a client selling his home in the holidays and his daughter was going to come home from boot camp. And we're on the sidewalk at the home inspection and my client tells the buyer, hey man, my daughter's coming over for the holidays. Going to be a little hard for me to move in December. Maybe I'll give you delivery or possession at the end of the month if you don't mind. I know we're closing, early in December, but my daughter, she's in the service and whatnot. And the guy goes, yeah, no problem. Yeah, 2 weeks, a month. You got it, man. No worries. At that moment, guys, I should have said, hey, guys, that's beautiful. Spoken promises are hard to keep. Let's put it in writing. Let's all agree. Because at the end, once it closed, the buyer's agent called me, goes, hey, where's the keys? I go, hey, they agreed on the lawn that they were going to, it was going to be okay. And that buyer's agent ended up calling Bruce, ended up calling my manager. It was going to get pretty nasty, but in the end, it all worked out. But still, guys, had I had it in writing, we would have never had to go back and forth and her threatening to report me to the board and all this other stuff. So just don't forget that one. Number 8, don't set yourself up to lose. All right. So I've shared with you guys in the past where this guy came to me and he was my buyer and he goes, hey, I'm short $1,000, and is there any way that you could give this $1,000? And I was like, yeah, you got it. Right. And it ended up being that when we got his closing statement, he was only short $300. So make sure that you're not setting yourself up to lose. That's just one example, guys. I mean, I could give you way many others. One thing that I do when I charge clients 5% and not 6%, I tell them, look, the discount that I'm giving you of 1%, I'm not charging you 6%, I'm charging you 5% on your $600,000 house. That's like $6,000. Hey, when the buyer asks for some repairs, you could use that savings of that $6,000 towards those repairs, and every little bit helps. It's not a lot, but it helps a little bit, right? But the thing is, guys, is I've also seen it where somebody goes, oh, yeah, if it gets down to it and we're a little tight, I'll help you out. Don't ever offer up your commission, guys. Trust me, these people are buying big products, right? They're buying a house, right? They've got the money, okay? So don't feel that you have to open your wallet up and pay for things. You really don't, so just keep that in mind when they say, hey, you know what, will you pay for our home warranty? I'd love to, but that would be illegal. So I think that's where I go to my next one. I'd love to, that would be illegal. I can only pay a commission to a California licensed agent. I can only pay a referral to a California licensed agent. I can't cut. Yeah, well, can you cut your commission? In escrow, we need $2,000 for the buyer. Well, I would love to, but that's not my money. It's my brokerage's money. I can ask my broker. If you'd like, I'll ask my broker. Guys, learn these things because seriously, at the end of the day, yes, we make a lot of money, but what about the deals that you lose? What about the deals you don't close, the deals where you don't make any money? What about those, right? You can't be giving away money here and there because honestly, on the ones where you don't get paid, that's why you're getting paid big on the ones that you do get paid on. So anyways, I'd love to, but that would be illegal. And hey, can you cut your commission? You know what? I'd love to, but it's my brokerage fee. The commission is what my broker pays me after we close the deal. I can ask my broker and see what he says. All right. So in closing, guys, and I think we're going to end this a little early. It'll give you a chance to go prospect a little bit earlier, but good service closes more sales than skilled closers. Good service closes more sales than skilled closers, right? So your most talented, scripted, sharp dressed, good looking salesperson does not close more deals than the person that gives good service. So being customer obsessed creates good word of mouth referrals. So just always make sure you're taking, I remember Ashton Gustafson, he says, don't forget or dance with the one who brought you. Don't forget to dance with the one who brought you. And what he meant by that was, he's out there in Waco, Texas or whatever, or Wichita Falls, something like that. I think it is in Texas. I might have gotten that wrong, but he says, when you go to a dance or you go to a party, don't forget to dance with the person that you came with, don't leave them hanging. And so I think what that translates to in our business is, take care of the person that's the reason why you're going to get paid, which is your client. Make sure that you take care of them. If you look out for them, I promise you, you're going to get referral after referral after referral just by looking out for people. I always like to say that I'm blessed that, in 14 years, which is a long time for a lot of people, and for me, it seems like a very short time. I get calls all the time. Hey, Benny, I recommend so-and-so to you. Hey, Benny, come list my house. I want to buy another house. I had a great experience with you last time. Hey, Benny, even though we had a bunch of hiccups, you delivered. Come list my house. So just make sure you take care of your people, guys, and that'll your business will take care of itself. That's the truth. So anyways, guys, in closing, take care, make it an amazing week. Please stay positive. 2020 is almost over. And you could blame the year for bringing bad news and bad things, but in reality, guys, every year has got negatives, and it's up to you to make it positive. So, keep your head up, stay positive, be optimistic. There's opportunity. I always say that there's every negative has a positive. All right. So anyways, guys, make it a great week. Talk to you soon. John Greer, you got anything else to say? Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments, guys? All right. Make it a great week. Thanks again, guys. Have a good day.